Well, here we are. The final race of the Bluegrass Truck Series here tonight on V Speed Racing Network and Bluegrass TV. Glad to have everybody tonight for this championship race. We're going to crown a champion here tonight. Who's it going to be? It's been an incredible season. A lot of ups and downs. You know, dominating performance by Peyton Hubbard. And then here at the end, he's got a chance to take home the championship along with Daniel Cunningham, Christopher McCullough, and Sean Kaiser. Sean Kaiser's kind of had the hottest hand here lately, won the last two races, and now is set to win 3 in a row is likely what he's going to have to do if he's going to win this championship. And can't wait to see how this all plays out here tonight. Taking a look at your championship four right here, you can see Sean Kaiser with those last two wins really bumped him up. But you see just how great these guys have been all season long. I mean, Christopher McCullough has got 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, just missing that one win. Well, heck, tonight would be the perfect night to get that win and get the championship and claim that trophy for this season. So looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. Qualifying is underway. And you know what? We don't normally do qualifying all that much, but we're going to do it a little bit tonight as there is a lot on the line, and we want to pay attention to pretty much everything that we can and try to get y'all some really good action. Take a look at the qualifying times as it sits right now. Chad Ross up front as we're watching Christopher McCullough. Is he going to complete his next lap and see if he's able to improve upon that? And he does. Goes right up to the top spot. Wow, I picked the right guy to check out, as he's going to have some clean air if he can hold on to it. Still got a lot of folks left to qualify, but a pretty good run there for him. We'll take a look here at Dustin Ronstedel, who has already made a couple laps, and he has called it quits. So he is going to settle in that 6th position as we wait on someone else to get out on track. Here comes Stephen Page coming to his fast lap now. We'll see if he can throw something up there and get up towards the top of the running order. But we're getting ready to talk to some qualifying drivers. We watch a little bit of this lap here with Stephen Page, and then we're going to jump in and talk to a couple of these drivers. Now we're going to start with Christopher McCullough. Get him up into the booth real quick. Christopher, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Eddie.
Well, here we are, brother. Final race of the season right now. Sitting pretty good. Still a lot of people left to qualify, but that last lap was a heater and takes you up to the top spot. Talk a little bit about this. I mean, no wins on the season, but heck, be a great opportunity to get a win here tonight. What's your feelings going into this final race here?
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little sick, a little under the weather. I got some pretty bad body ache, so it's really tough to sit here and race. It's nice to see I'm the fastest of the championship 4 because I know Hubbard can't qualify. So that's a good sign. I'm just hoping to stay out of trouble and keep my truck clean to the end.
Well, I mean, talk a little bit about this track. What do you like about Homestead? You have to kind of run the bottom, run the middle, run the top. You can run all over. What's your plan as far as lines go? Are you going to move around, what's your plan going into it? I know you don't want to give away any secrets, but what do you like so far?
I really like the way the truck feels. You really can drive off the right rear. You can kind of pitch it a little using the throttle. So it really fits my driving style with the way the truck's set up. I really like the fact you can run all over the place. I think the strategy is going to be to get to the right rear of people, then make your passes. So I'll be trying to set that up all night to make my passes. Hopefully I don't need to make any passes.
That's right. Well, so far you've got the pole position. Still quite a few people to qualify. We'll see if you can hold on to it. Good luck tonight, Christopher, and good luck trying to get that championship.
Thank you, Eddie.
There you have it, Christopher McCullough, one of your championship 4. Let's talk to the next one in the order at the moment, and that is Daniel Cunningham. Going to run for a championship tonight, sitting 3rd in the qualifying lineup at the moment. Daniel, how you feeling about this race? You got a teammate in there with you. Y'all can work together, but, I mean, championship's sort of a personal thing. You got the team championship already locked down. What is your thoughts going into this race, and how are you going to take home some hardware here tonight?
Just gonna try to treat it like every other race. I feel like that's kind of a cliche answer, but at the end of the day, you just got to go out here and do the same thing you've been doing all season. There's a lot of other really fast guys in the championship for. Sean and Peyton have probably been a little bit quicker this season just on raw pace, and the wins show that. So I've been consistent all season, but consistency don't really mean much tonight. You just got to throw them up on the dash and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and throwing them up on the dash, throw them up on the wall, I say. So, how you feel about running the wall versus running the bottom? I know you don't want to give away your secrets, but kind of what's your thoughts about this track? How you're going to attack it? I mean, you're starting up front; that's where you need to be. And what's your plan here in this first stage?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with running the wall. I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems like at Homestead, I've just never been really good at running the fence here. I don't know if it's me or just the way that you're supposed to drive the track, but I tried a little bit in practice just in case I do need to use it to try to set up passes. I don't think it's something that I'll want to do on a consistent basis throughout the entire race, but it's there if you need it.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Daniel. And maybe we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing, crowning you the champion.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right. Well, let's get through a couple more. We're going to grab Peyton Hubbard and get him up into the booth. Now, Peyton, we talked a little bit before the race. Got an EOL, so you've got the toughest road of everybody here tonight at Homestead. And starting towards the back, you've got some people not qualifying, so you may end up about mid-pack. What's your thoughts going into this? How are you going to manage this first run and trying to get yourself up there in contention?
Just because fuel run's a little less than 50, like we're like 49.5 or something. So I'm hoping for a caution or two, but just know there's gonna be a caution at lap 50. So try not to burn through it that much. Maybe have a little bit of speed towards the stage, and maybe we'll leapfrog some people and start going up there. Because I can see Chris is on the pole, Cunningham, all those guys are up there. So it's gonna be tough, but it's nothing that's it's not impossible. That's for sure.
Well, you've got 6 wins on the season. Do you think it's going to take 7 to get this championship done tonight?
The way these guys drive, probably. I mean, they're those guys, they all get up front. That's probably what it's going to take. When these guys qualify good, they usually run good. So yeah, that's the goal for sure.
All right, and I grabbed you. Tell me what channel you're supposed to be in.
The NLR channel.
Okay, sorry about that.
Down there with Jeremy.
Yeah, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, we got one more guy to go, and he is the hot ticket. I swear, if you're a betting man, you want to be putting your money on this guy who has won the last 2 races. And tonight, Sean, you're going to start around the 6th position, it looks like. And, go for 3 in a row and get this championship. What do you say?
Well, I'm going to say that if there's a will, there's a way, I suppose. Could have done a little bit better in qualifying. I tried something a little different in 3 and 4, and I should have just kept on running it the way I did. But still not a bad starting position. Just I think this suits my racing style. There's going to be a lot of saving tires. There's a lot of fall off. So, like I always say, just got to be patient, and you got to be smooth.
Yeah, first stage gives you a chance to kind of get a good feel for the truck and what you're trying to get out of it. Peyton Hubbard, the overall season favorite is starting in the back, but you're sort of that Ryan Blaney just coming. I mean, you've had a really good season too, but I mean, here at the last few races, it's just been, the hot ticket. I told him before I pulled you in here, if I was going to be a bet man, I'm putting money on you. How do you manage that? You've had such good luck the last couple races. You've got a teammate that you're battling. How does that all factor into how you're going to race? Are you going to race differently, or you're just going to try to keep doing what you've been doing?
I think you don't fix what's not broken, right? I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna be respectful to Daniel. I'm gonna race him clean. I don't think. I mean, last lap, coming to the checkered is one thing, but I don't think I'm gonna even touch him. I'm just gonna race him hard. But like I said, just gotta be patient. You gotta be smooth. It is confidence, definitely coming into here. But at the same time, I don't think I want to be too confident because that's just going to make me overdrive the car. And, you can't get in your own head like that sometimes.
Right. Well, good luck to you tonight, Sean. Go for 3 in a row. You're probably going to need to do it to win that championship. So good luck out there.
That's what I think. And I appreciate it, man.
There you have it. That's your final 4. Sean Kaiser going to round out that little group as we get ready to, man, we're going to get the grid for this final race. And boy, I'm excited. It's been a fantastic season. And, I mean, another one, I think this will be a great race to finish it off. As Christopher McCullough going to start on the front row. Got a really fast qualifying time. Chad Ross going to start outside of him. Chad Ross just barely missed the final 4. And, man, going to be fighting for a win. Try to get some respect out there and say, hey, look, I may not have made the final 4, but I'm going to go out there and get that dub. Starting in row number 2 is going to be Barrett Morton and Daniel Cunningham. Row number 3 is going to be Bobby Hall Jr. and Sean Kaiser. Eric Parks and Dustin Ronstedel going to start in the 8th position. Starting in 9th is going to be Drew Prohl and Stephen Page in the 10th spot. Starting in 11th is going to be Jim Kaufman, David Sheets in 12th. 13th is Carlton Charles with Kenneth McCullough going to start in the 14th position. 15th is going to be John Mollahan and Peyton Hubbard there. Your other playoff driver going to start in 16th, way back there. He's going to have a long way to go, but he's got plenty of time to get there. Jeremy Vaughn going to be in 17th. Ryan Terry going to be in 18th. And David Brackett, along with Michael Cole, going to round out your field here tonight. Well, let's take a look at the track information. Homestead Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida, opened in 1995. One of the newer tracks on the circuit. 46,000 people can fit into this bad boy, and it's a 1.5 miler that we all love now. It's kind of gone up and down. It's been sort of one of those that people love or hate. It just depends on the car and how racy they are. In the past, it's been a little bit tough as dirty air, but these days, everybody's wanting Homestead back, even though they hated it back in the day. So this next-gen car really runs good here, but we'll see what these trucks can do. I think they put a pretty good show here on iRacing. Let's take a look at your race analysis. 134 laps, so we're running a full-length truck race here tonight with a stage break on lap 50, no fast repair. So if you're Peyton Hubbard starting in 16th, you got to feel pretty good about having plenty of time to work your way up towards the front. A long race, so you got plenty of time. And that stage break really does help in case it does try to go green. So I think Peyton, if you're a Peyton fan, you got to feel pretty good about your chances here. If you're Christopher McCullough and the guys up front, you got to get ready and get going. But here we go, green flag getting ready to come out. Barney's waving it, and we're green here with just one race to go in the Bluegrass Truck Series, and we're rolling. So far, so good for Christopher McCullough as he's going to take over the lead. As right behind him, you can see them all fanning out all over the place. And Chad Ross already up there at the wall, and boy, Sean Kaiser, oh, somebody's loose down there. Who is that? Bobby Hall Jr. gets loose and saves it on those cold tires. That's something to be thinking about. We got 3 wide for the lead. Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, Chad Ross, and now Barrett Morton. Fighting side by side here early, and you can see guys all over the track running multiple lines now. And we'll say that top line can be detrimental for your tires if you run up there and abuse it. It will wear your tires out a whole lot sooner. The idea is, and I hate to give you the answer, probably shouldn't, but the idea is that you run the bottom as long as you can, especially if you're running single file, until you need to run the top. And then after about 20, 25 laps, you jump up to the top side and you're able to get moving. If you run the top too early like Chad Ross is up here, you won't be able to run that high side later on. So it is, there's a lot of factors that go into that. We'll take a look at the weather here. 95 degrees. Track's not really that hot, so just depends on how all those factors factor in. But look at Chad Ross going right around the outside of Barrett Morton, and they almost make contact off of the corner here. And Eric Park's going to get a run on Barrett Morton. But so far, Christopher McCullough out to a sizable lead, 1.1 seconds already. As the battle really goes from about third on back as Daniel Cunningham and Sean Kaiser have been able to pull away. And right now, Chad Ross one of the few drivers getting close to that wall. We got that wall cam. We'll be able to see these guys run the wall if they get close enough. You want to get as close as possible. The run up there in that cushion, iRacing has added in that cushion to work like it's supposed to, where you get up against the wall and the air pushes your vehicle off the wall if you get close enough. The trick is you gotta get close enough. That's the most important thing. A little bit off the wall, it doesn't give you that force off the wall, and you can get into it quickly. So, going to be an art to see once these guys start to mosey up towards the wall how that works. But man, look at Christopher McCullough. He is gone 1.4 seconds now after only lap 5, turning on to lap 6. So if you're a McCullough Motorsports fan, you got to be feeling pretty good. Now, is he wearing those tires out? That's always the big thing. You get out to an early lead, you got the clean air. The trick is you got to hang on to it. You want to keep that clean air. You don't want to start falling back. You don't want to burn your tires up. And right now, though, he is just getting with it. Putting that left front right on that bottom seam. Try not to go all the way to the bottom, but running just about half lane up. Look at that steering wheel. You want it exactly like that. Just barely putting wheel into it. You don't want to steer that truck too far. You see he's barely putting any input into those turns. This one's a little bit harder. He'll have to turn a little bit more down into 1 and 2. You see that tape going all the way to about 45 degrees, but they call this the flu game, as he said he was sick, not feeling good. But man, if that's the case, I want to be sick all the time, because he is extremely fast right now. Chad Ross about 1.5 seconds back to Christopher McCullough. So right now, Christopher is doing exactly what he needs to do. Chad Ross has been able to take over that second spot and showing why he belongs here in this series and in this Final Four. Checking in on another Final Four driver, Peyton Hubbard, as he is got a lot of traffic he's going to have to work through. But patience is key. He's already made up 3 spots, but he doesn't want to get in trouble here. No fast repairs in Bluegrass, so you do not have the opportunity to make a mistake, get involved in something that doesn't really involve you. So let these guys battle it out. Everybody get settled out, then start picking them off one at a time. Peyton knows exactly how to do that. He knows he's got that stage break at 50 that will allow him to get caught up, so no rush. I love the way Bluegrass is set up with this one stage break that really gives you a lot of opportunity to really manage your race. You can take your time. You can really rush up through there knowing you've got a stage break, but I believe they have to make a pit stop before the stage break, so that's something else to think about. So far, here we go. Peyton Hubbard going down to the inside of Bobby Hall Jr. See him just being patient on the throttle. The SimWrap Market 51 machine. I got to say, I'm going to give him a free shout out. I'm not getting paid to say this, but SimWrap Market does make some really fantastic schemes. There's a couple leagues with some drivers in it that I broadcast, and every time I see SimWrap Market on the broadcast, they are pretty incredible. Also broadcast the Fastenal series on Tuesday nights, and SimWrap Market, a big part of that series is Peyton really comes right across the bumper of Bobby Hall Jr., taking a little bit of the liberty there that I didn't expect, but no problems out of that. But yeah, SimWrap Market, man, does put some really clean paint schemes together. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Good racing schemes, clean. They always look good no matter what they do. So want to give them a shout out. Big fan of their work. so far. Peyton up to the 11th position and continues to try to pick him off. Oh, so slightly as, Jim Kaufman gets a little out of shape. Almost did a little bit of Kyle Larson, went right into the barrels, but was able to hang on to it. So the trucks are loose off of turn 4. We've seen that a couple times. Up front, we got a battle between playoff drivers. Sean Kaiser goes down to the inside of his teammate, Daniel Cunningham. I would suspect that Cunningham's not going to fight too hard. Kind of lifts and let him go. And Sean Kaiser now sets his sights towards Chad Ross, who has started to maintain that gap, 1.4 seconds back from Christopher McCullough. So Chris not pulling away like he once was, but man, look at Chad Ross all the way up here at the wall. If I had to guess, I'm going to say everybody's going to eventually go up there. And Chad has been one of the few that has been up there all race long. We'll see how much that hurts him. He's starting to fall back into the hands of Sean Kaiser, who's been running that bottom line for a while now. So we'll see if Chad can maintain this. And it just depends on the temperature, how the truck and the tires respond. But right now, still starting to lose a little bit of ground here to Christian McCullough. That bottom side just looks too strong early. You don't want to get up there too soon, and I've seen a couple drivers do that. You see some drivers really moving around. Peyton Hubbard been running the top, been running the bottom. He's been trying some different things. He ran the top in 1 and 2 last time. He's going to run it again. The battle for second going to start to brew here as Sean Kaiser's gotten to the back bumper of Chad Ross. Chad Ross now moves down to the bottom, doing a little bit of aero blocking on this 24 machine, who is really on the move at the moment. And honestly, just the hot hand. It's been impressive to watch Sean, who's had a really good season. 4 wins on the season, but 2 of them came in the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, just really turned it up a notch. And here he is going to the inside of Chad Ross. And honestly, I just think Chad's going to fall back a little bit. I think he's going to regret getting up there that soon. He was able to make some passes up there, but you're starting to see the tires fade. He's going to fight here, but I think the 24 is just going to be a little bit too strong as Chad does get it wound up. Sean didn't have a great middle to exit, and so Chad going to continue to fight. And of course, Christian McCullough loves this, watching these guys battle. It's going to allow him to drive on, because here at Homestead, you really want to be able to use the whole track if you're on the bottom. You need to go all the way out to the wall. Not as much as other tracks, but it definitely does slow you both down. And so if they're not careful, Chris can continue to extend that lead. But it's kind of held steady right at 1.4, 1.5 seconds. He hasn't really been able to get out any further. Sean Kaiser does take over the second spot. 20 laps in the books. We still have a long way to go, so plenty of time. Peyton Hubbard fans, he has made it up to ninth position, so that's 6 spots he's gained. And here comes Daniel Cunningham now to the inside of Chad Ross. Side by side as Daniel comes off really low, and you see that kind of hurts his exit just a little bit. And he's going to go right back at him, try to get it again. And you get to see the speed that you're able to carry up on that top side. Daniel just trying to be patient. It's so hard to do because you want to get on the gas. You want to try to get around this guy that you feel like maybe you're a little bit faster than, but that outside just is really strong. He's actually got a pretty good run as he's over half a car length ahead. We'll see if he can clear him right now. Try to do a little slide job. Chad Ross, though, doing a great job on the high side at the moment. And that's going to become more and more prevalent as we go, especially towards the end of the race. You're going to see a lot of guys really fighting hard on the outside. You can prevent a pass for quite a while just by running the top side, as Chad is all the way up there. Got to be careful. You don't want to get into the wall. Yeah, shout out to iRacing in the damage model. I mean, it's been pretty incredible how much improvement that has made. What used to be you get into the wall, you could blow your motor somehow. And that has really changed over the last 6 months. It allows you to really get up there and push the limit a little bit, and that makes a big difference on how racy you can be. Christopher McCullough is still out front. However, Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, they're running him down now. Both Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, almost about a second away. But they are just slowly picking him off a couple laps at a time. I mean, Sean Kaiser was about a little less than 2/10 faster last time by. So Christopher starting to fall off just a little bit here as we get later into this run. Going to be 25 laps so far. So 110 laps to go at the moment. And Sean is just slowly picking away at this lead. So right now, your top three are all Final Four playoff drivers. And, I mean, that's really no surprise. It's the way that it goes. I mean, people act like that's the craziest thing in the world. Oh, man, you mean the 4 best drivers all season long are going to be up at the front? Hell yeah, they are. That's the whole point. So it ain't like it's some surprise. They have been the best all season. You got to see there, Christian McCullough is running sort of that middle line. We'll see what he does in 1 and 2. Those guys behind him running a lot lower. He's still doing a great job of not putting too much wheel into it. And you can see that truck a little bit loose, that counter steer, just a little yank to the right off the exit of the corner. But just not able to get into the corner. You can see that front end just does not want to turn. Having to let that thing roll quite a bit. But still looks like the car's handling, or truck's handling pretty well. Just Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, just a little bit faster each and every lap. But, you know, right now, Daniel Cunningham seems like he's got sort of an advantage here on Sean Kaiser. But I think with these guys being teammates, it's something to think about. Hey, we're catching him. There's no reason for me to try to get up there and pass you. I'm just going to ride behind you, and we'll catch him together. And that's exactly what they've been doing the last few laps. Now under a second they are, as, man, Chad Ross is really starting to fall back from these guys and starting to fall into the clutch of another JC Motorsports driver, Barrett Morton, who Drew Prohl have been sort of running nose to tail for a while. It's Drew right up against the wall trying to get that run off the corner. He's actually doing a little bit different line where he comes down off of the high side on exit, and to try to get a run, he's going to get that run down into this corner here as they're battling side by side. Chad Ross falling back to him quickly. Chad Ross about 3/10 off the leader's pace. You can see he's really used those tires up quickly. The danger of using the high side. And man, looky here. I mean, Christopher McCullough had a terrible lap last time by, and that has allowed Sean Kaiser to gain really quickly on that 04 machine. So, and he's going to dive it right down to the inside, not wasting any time to try to get around him. He's going to go to the inside. He's got a good run, and I think Christopher McCullough is not going to be able to do much about it at the moment. So with just about 20 laps to go here in this stage, Sean Kaiser is going to take the lead away from Christopher McCullough, who has led every single lap so far after starting on the pole. And you can see he got a little bit loose there trying to keep up with him. Try to see the difference of what's going on between these two drivers. And Sean was able to get it into that corner just a little bit. Oh my goodness, as they both get loose off the corner. So I mean, the right front doesn't seem to be something that you're worried about. It sounds like that right rear is what guys are needing to nurse. Is man, they both got extremely loose, but it seems like Sean Kaiser able to charge that corner just a little bit more than Christopher is able to right at the moment. So Christopher can make those adjustments, though. He's gonna get to the end of this stage at least in third place, if not better. As Chad Ross is about 2.2 seconds back here. And he is still, Chad Ross still running that wall. And you see multiple folks have jumped up there now. And Barrett Morton, he was up here running the wall just a minute ago. We'll go down to the bottom in 1 and 2. See Chad just struggling up there. It's right through the middle of the corner that everybody seems to be a little bit quicker. Up front, Daniel Cunningham to the inside of Christopher McCullough. Or Chris McCullough maybe was trying to make a pass on Daniel Cunningham. So McCullough coming back, excuse me. Forgot where I was for a second. So Daniel trying to keep up with his teammates. And now Chris McCullough has jumped up on the outside. Got a little bit loose up there, McCullough did, and lost a good amount of time. This is not what you want to be doing if you're these guys. You want to be up there. You want to be trying to keep up with Sean Kaiser. You do not want to let him go. They still got the stage break, but want to see if you can match his effort on the long run. Is Daniel Cunningham had the opportunity to slide up in front of McCullough, but elected not to there. So continue to fight side by side for the second position and second in the championship 4 at the moment. So your top 3 pulling away by almost 2.5 seconds. Drew Prohl has now taken over the 4th position as Christian McCullough takes that spot back from Daniel Cunningham. So the 04 finding some resurgence here. A little bit faster than Sean Kaiser using that top line. I told you that top line was going to be pretty fast towards the end of this run as the bottom starts to fade, as you're just not able to keep the RPMs up. So we'll see how that continues to move on through the race. At times, Sean Kaiser a little bit faster, and actually Daniel Cunningham gets a good run as McCullough not able to keep the RPMs up. This battle continues, and they're actually keeping up with Sean Kaiser quite a bit. So, but Barrett Morton, Drew Prohl, those guys behind these fellas as they race side by side, a little bit quicker. Barrett Morton was the fastest car on the track last time by, so he is scooting right now as they're battling. This pretty nice little battle between 3 drivers. Peyton Hubbard is back here in 9th position. Kind of stalled out right here around the 9th spot. Going to go down pit road at some point. We talked to Peyton before the race, and he said you couldn't make it the whole way. So we're expecting to see probably a pit stop for fuel. I don't know how many sets of tires they have. I'm sure somebody will DM me and let me know. They have 4 sets, so they'll have 3 in the pits. So we might see some just fuel-only stops, especially for this stage, I would imagine. But depending on when they have to come down pit road, it might see some interesting strategy calls from some folks. But we'll see what they decide to do. Peyton Hubbard in the 9th spot. It's got a big cluster of cars right in front of him. Just got to get there to him. Daniel Cunningham's able to get around Christopher McCullough again and kind of solidly take over the 2nd position, and is matching lap times with his teammates. We're on board with Peyton Hubbard. Watching the patience, he is running just as fast as the leaders, but just not in a huge hurry to get up there. There's no reason to, as you see Eric Parks there, bounce up off the apron, lose a little bit of time. Ooh, look how loose it is off the corner, off of turn 4 as this run goes on. So it seems like people are really leaning on that right rear and heating it up. You can really tell the balance of a truck or a car on the oval side by how the right rear and the right front wear at the time when you take the tires off. You've got more wear on the right rear that truck is, or car is really loose. So kind of looks like that's going to be the case here when they come down pit road. Which I will take that over a right front being wore out any day. I mean, a tight condition is so frustrating, hard to race because you're just kind of stuck. You can't really do anything, get behind people. It makes it a whole lot worse. But if you're loose, you can use that throttle a little bit more. And man, look at Peyton Hubbard. Look how loose he was down there on the bottom. A good slide there with a pretty good amount of counter steer. So that is definitely concerning. Now Peyton said you could not make it on fuel, so I'm interested to see if somebody is going to come down pit road, or maybe he was maybe not correct about that. I haven't seen anybody come down pit road just yet. Nobody's really trying to save either, so we'll see if that's the case. But look how loose he is. He gets down to the bottom as he's continuing to try to move up through the top 10. Now caught up to Eric Parks. Up front, it is still Sean Kaiser with Daniel Cunningham right there in his wake. You can see that gap back to Christopher McCullough. Now 1.7 seconds back is the 04 machine, and he has got some work to do. Definitely seems like the JC Motorsports boys came ready to go. Got some people asking who the Final Four is. We'll tell you that right here. Here's your Championship 4. Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, Christopher McCullough, Peyton Hubbard are your Championship 4 going for the title here tonight. And all they got to do is finish ahead of everybody else in that Final Four. You don't have to win the race. You just got to finish up there ahead of the other 3 drivers. So far, Sean Kaiser doing what he needs to do, but Daniel Cunningham, I'm impressed with him as well. JC Motorsports, they've won the team championship, and they're showing why right here. 2 guys working together, not running each other hard, and they seem to be prepared. And I think that's a big thing when it comes to winning championships. Preparation seems to be key, but everybody else is not out of it. You've got that stage coming up in about 5 laps. You get kind of a reset, and you get the opportunity to come down and say, okay, what I did last time didn't work. I'm going to change up what I do. And, man, I'll tell you what. You're going to have to get it done because it looks like we're going to have some green flag racing. Everything's starting to trend that way. I mean, I see some guys getting loose, but nobody has ate it yet. I don't know. I think you better figure out what you're doing wrong if you're one of those top 4. I mean, if you're Christopher McCullough, you're in trouble right now. If it was going green the rest of the race, he would be in big trouble. He's going to have the stage, though, to try to get that thing figured out. Try a different strategy next time because it won't be too long Peyton Hubbard will be up there. But green flag racing so far after 46 laps, no caution, just been a couple guys getting a little bit loose. But Sean Kaiser, Daniel Cunningham, your top 2, and top 2 in the championship 4 at the moment. Go back to 3rd place. You find Christopher McCullough, who started on the pole and has had a great start to the race, but on this long run has really fallen off as he's about 3.5 seconds now off the lead. That early run, getting out front of him, he got out to about a 1.5 second lead, and that's sort of, I think, maybe what has done him in. And now on the top side, trying to make up some of that time, but he is about 0.3 slower than the leaders every single lap. So, gonna have to make some adjustments. Peyton Hubbard back here in the 8th position. Been slowly making his way through the field. Started 16th up to 8th after having that EOL from the contact in, I think, Darlington, I believe is what it was. I could be wrong about that, but had to start in the back, and that's been a couple times he's had to start in the back. And, you know, that's a pretty big mountain to climb if you're the 51 machine. He's already had a pretty tough playoffs. Honestly, probably, I mean, for somebody who was so good in the regular season, his playoff run was left a lot to be desired. So, I mean, here it's a night for redemption if you're Peyton Hubbard. Try to get up there and win this championship like you probably think you deserve. But he's got a lot of work to do. He's having to start in the back. It's very, very tough to make it up. But if anybody can do it, he can. All right, just a couple laps to go in this stage. Sean Kaiser continues to lead as Christopher McCullough is now under fire from Barrett Morton as Drew Prohl has gotten around him as he's trying to just maintain and get that truck to the stage break. But, man, falling back to 5th place after starting on the pole. So Chris McCullough in trouble. Going to fight hard. But Sean Kaiser takes the white flag here in the stage. And once he crosses the line, we will throw the yellow flag. And we'll have a caution to kind of get a reset here. No stage points, obviously. Stage points don't matter. At least I don't think. I think they might have some stuff that they do that points do matter, but as far as the championship 4 go, that is not the case. So, coming off of turn 4, Sean Kaiser is going to take yet another stage win here in the playoffs. And the caution flag does fly, and he will win that stage. So, all right, well, you know what? We normally talk to a stage winner here. Whenever the stage is called and they go down pit road, we will watch pit stops. But tonight I'm going to throw it up a little bit different because playoff drivers are going to get a lot of airtime tonight. We know that in real life, and that's going to happen here tonight because that's what we're here to do. We're here to crown a champion. But I'm going to talk to some other drivers, some that aren't in the Final Four. And if we get more cautions, that's who we'll talk to that are having good races, because we at least want to give them an opportunity to talk about their stuff and not feel like they're kind of being left out, because at the moment I'm starting to feel that way. So we'll let them come down pit road. We'll see who wins the battle off of that. I mean, it's a big deal. Under caution, it's hard to lose a whole lot of spots, but you never know just how the dice roll happens in iRacing. You go down pit road, you could speed a little bit. A lot of people don't know that. It's a little secret for you. But you can actually speed on pit road and not get caught. So you might use those to your advantage. Get on there and try to gain as much as you can, and then go down into your pit stall. And it's just a dice roll. iRacing just says, boop, you're going to run a 14-second stop. You're going to do a 13-2. Just sort of a dice roll. So you want to get in as hard as you possibly can. You see the top two got a nice little gap. Get down on pit road and get off. If you can get the lead, Sean Kaiser, you're in good shape. So everybody coming down pit road won't see anybody, I don't think, staying out, especially none of the playoff drivers. Kaiser gets in his stall. The one thing you don't want to do is slide through that stall and make that mistake. That would be pretty tough. We'll see who wins the battle off pit lane here. Everybody going to take 4 tires of fuel. Nobody going to push that at all. Is Sean Kaiser going to win? And, man, Barrett Morton is going to get second place away from Daniel Cunningham. Barrett Morton with a fantastic stop. And is going to come out with the second spot. And I don't know what happened to Drew Prohl. I don't know if he missed the pit road. I mean, he's up there in the front of the field. And I don't know what's going on with him. Like he's out of fuel. As Drew Prohl is going to bring that machine down. I wonder if he ran out of fuel, so you could barely make it. Apparently right at the, and I think Dustin Ronsettle the same way. So those guys who were up there in the top 5 ran out of fuel and had to slowly coast their way down pit road to get their 4 tires of fuel. So that's something to consider. They barely made that stage. Wow, that was incredible. Board as the whole field blinks out. Not what you want to see. Let's talk to Barrett Morton, see what he thought about that first little run there. Barrett, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, all the attention's on the playoff driver, so I want to talk to some under cautions, talk to some guys who, you know, maybe not in the Final Four, because I'm going to be talking about them plenty. But your first run, pretty solid. JC Motorsports seems like y'all have a pretty good feel for this track and this race and what you're trying to do. Long run speed, y'all have it. And you were able to win the battle off pit road, come off second, you know, in an awkward spot where you want to take care of your teammates and definitely don't want to put them in a bad position. But, man, you showed up tonight to race, not just to ride around. So what's your plan here on this restart and trying to keep up with your teammates and maybe try to get a win by the end of this thing?
I think the strategy is just to save your equipment the best you can. Don't overdrive the corners. Try to run a consistent line. Obviously, Sean and Daniel are kicking some butt with it. So I don't know. Just try to stay out of trouble. And you know, I told them I'm not laying over for them. So they're running their own race. I'm trying to get my first win. So I hate that I'm not in the championship 4, but you know, I was last season. So it's all right.
Well, that 9 truck looks really, really fast. Got up to the 3rd spot, had a great pit stop, and now you're in P2. So good luck out there, and good luck the rest of this race.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There you have it. 2nd place finisher, 3rd place in the stage, Barrett Morton, who is going to be starting outside of his teammate, Sean Kaiser. You heard it there. I mean, I love that. I think, you know, I don't want my teammates to be rolling over and letting me go. I just hate the idea of that. You showed up. You pay your $15 a month. You paid for this track and this car. You paid to run in this series. By God, I want to race. I'm out here to race. I'm not out here thinking about your feelings and what you're trying to do. And while he won't put Sean or Daniel in a bad spot, I don't think, but I want my teammates to race me. That's part of it. If I can't race somebody and win the championship, hell, I don't want it. Take it. Take it back to returns, and y'all can have it. I don't want it. But here we go. Restart here after the stage. Sean Kaiser dominates the 2nd half of the stage. What can Christopher McCullough do? And Peyton Hubbard is now in the 5th position, so he is in striking range. If Sean Kaiser is thinking about this championship, you've got to get up there and get going, I think, because it is now about to get heated up here up front. Peyton Hubbard going to fall back to the 6th position on that restart. Thinking long run speed now. You've got a couple pit stops to think about. You're going to have you're just going to have the one most likely. And you should be able to make it on one more stop. And you see Daniel Cunningham getting to the outside of Christopher McCullough, who was on this restart, had a really great restart. Now he's going to battle for the lead. Now this happened last time. And he got out front and burned his stuff up running that top side. Him and Chad Ross. So what does he learn? What's he going to adjust? And what y'all hear on the broadcast is a lot of the things that I think about, overthink. Now, Christian McCullough might be all doped up on some cough syrup, and he may not be able to think straight. And that might be his biggest ally. Not overthinking that he's just going to pin those ears back and go after it. And I think that looks like what he's doing right here. We saw him push really early. He's running that top side. Everybody has said the bottom is where you want to be. So he's getting up there. He's heating those right sides up quickly, a lot quicker than the guys on the bottom. He does take the lead, though. Now does he adjust and kind of move down to the bottom? And you see he's running that middle line. I just don't know. I don't know if that's going to pay off in the end. We'll see what he does. So far, the dominant line, the best tire saving line, has been right around the bottom. And Christian McCullough has been flirting with that middle line all night. Goes right down to the bottom this time, but then washes up the track and then opens the door for Sean Kaiser. Sean going to get a little run here. Not waiting around. He's going to get to the inside. Here we go. Another battle for the lead. Championship on the line. These three battling it out. Peyton Hubbard in that 51 machine is going, you know what? I sure would like to get all three of them. Just took yourselves out. As he would love to see that running back in 5th place. Barrett Morton Going to play a little defense for his teammate. But look here, side by side. There's still, hell, there's a long way to go. And they're racing like it's the last lap, but there's a lot on the line here at Bluegrass. See Chris McCullough battling on that outside. The longer he stays up there, the worse his tires are going to be. Sean Kaiser comes up off the bottom, and Chris McCullough almost gets into the walls. He's trying to avoid the 24, as I think the 24 thought that he was going to go 3 wide. And it is, man, look at this. This is some awesome racing. Going aboard Peyton Hubbard, who's up top already, trying to make some moves here. Man, this is exciting. You would think this is the last couple laps, the way these guys are racing. I just, man, I want to believe, but I just doubt running that top side early, how good that's going to be towards the end of this run. If we get a caution, it may work out if you're able to make up a couple spots. But I mean, we're looking on board Peyton Hubbard. He is right up against the wall here. And he's making up a lot of time, but how will that fare towards the end of this thing? But here he comes. We've got the final 4. Look at them. All 4 of them side by side, 1 through 4. All your championship drivers, as Peyton Hubbard has completed the drive towards the front. Now, still side by side up front is Peyton Hubbard making that top side work. Now he's got nowhere to go, as Christopher McCullough is still working that top side, trying to keep that lead. He wants that clean air. And you see Peyton Hubbard right up against that wall as he comes off the corner. 63 laps in the book. And Christian McCullough gets a nose out in front. Here comes Peyton Hubbard with a big run to the outside. Man, great racing up front. Is McCullough going to be able to take over the top spot? Sean Kaiser, though, not going to wait around. Drives right down to the bottom. He's been committed to the bottom all race long. You actually see Peyton Hubbard give up on the top side. So we will see how this affects. McCullough wants that clean air so badly, but how much is this going to hurt him in the later run? I just don't have a lot of confidence in this outside line. But there's a reason why these guys are running for a championship, running for a whole lot of money. And I'm sitting up here talking with a microphone. That is what I know. Man, look at Peyton Hubbard all the way up at the top again, trying to get the momentum off that top side. But it is still side by side for the lead. They are not letting up. McCullough again getting it wound up on the top side in 3 and 4. And here comes Daniel Cunningham taking a look-see down to the inside of the 24 machine. But I just feel like Sean is doing a little baiting. I think he is trying to get Christopher McCullough to stay up on that top side and stay trying to push that truck harder and harder, as Sean can just run the bottom, take it easy, and save those tires. And I think we'll see in the next 20 laps or so who has really pushed this truck a little bit harder than they needed to. That top line has not been good to folks. We saw Chad Ross use that earlier, and it really tore him up at the end of the run. But they are still side by side for the lead. I mean, it don't get no better than this. Sean Kaiser thought about, oh, he does. He slides up in front of him. Little bump from Christian McCullough, as he said, I don't appreciate that. And he actually gets back to his outside. They make contact, and he's still able to get side by side with that 24. So the 04, I mean, good Lord, I want to know what NyQuil he took, because he is rolling on that top side, able to keep momentum up, and he is continuing to battle. As Peyton Hubbard continues to work that top side, as Barrett Morton, though, going to go around him. So now he's going to get a run here on that 9 machine, going to go back down to the inside. And I'll tell you what, championship be damned, these guys are having a lot of fun. I'm jealous sitting here just watching them, calling the action. They look like they're having just a blast. But Christian McCullough still hanging on to it on the outside as Daniel Cunningham all over the back bumper of Sean Kaiser. He doesn't really know what to do. He's like, man, you guys going to figure this out so we can get away from this pack or what? But I really do feel like Sean Kaiser and Daniel Cunningham are kind of baiting the 04 into running that top side. I still stand by that. I would love to be proved wrong because I would love to see Christian McCullough get up there and kind of break up this little tango of JC Motorsports. Man, he is still getting with it. On board with Daniel Cunningham as he watches this battle. Kaiser gets a nice run through the middle of the corner, but not going to be able to jump up in front of him. Cola this time drives down on the door of the 24 instead of running that high line, so doing a little bit of a different run through the middle of the corner, keep him guessing, I guess. Man, what a great battle this has been. I can't really tell how hard Christian McCullough is driving. He may be taking it easy up there. It's hard to say because it seems like both of them they got a lot of give and take. I haven't seen a whole lot of just take aggressive moves. Sean did a really aggressive slider early, but it was totally fine. And Christian McCullough actually got out to his outside even after that happened. So, but who saved enough tires? We are 19 laps into this run, so we should see in the next 10 laps who has burned them up and who has saved them. And really, honestly, this second group has been able to run down the leaders as they continue to run side by side. I tell you what, if there was I know there's a butt kicker award out there, but I tell you what. Christian McCullough, we need a special award for him right now because he is, call him Mr. Excitement. But look, Eric Park's going to get into the wall there, but look how bottled up all these drivers are as these continue to run side by side. I think, at some point, somebody's going to shoot the middle here, and it's going to be real close. And look how close Daniel Cunningham is to his teammate. He's actually going to go down to the inside as, man, we've got all kinds of drivers starting to poke their head in here. Peyton Hubbard out to the outside now as these JC Motorsports continue to run side by side, and Christian McCullough does get the lead. So all of it worth it. Now, can he hang on to it? That's sort of the question as he kind of runs off here. Get some breathing room. Golly, take a break. If you're a water drinker, he gets up really close to the wall there and actually loses a ton of time to these drivers. Man, incredible racing here. Barrett Morton and Peyton Hubbard have not let each other go. Because I thought they had kind of settled it, but Barrett trying to fight that 51 machine, which, if I'm a teammate and I can't quite get up here and battle these fellas, I'm going to get back there. I'm going to race the dog food out of somebody that's in the playoffs and get my boys. He's going to have to earn it. Peyton Hubbard, I hope you brought a lunch. You got an apple. You got a sack of chips. A little can of Coke or something because you're going to need it to get around me. Got some lap traffic up ahead. Michael Cole there in that 91 machine. Going to use the bottom here. Let's see if that messes anybody up. He does a great job of kind of getting out of the way. Everybody's going to go around him successfully. But McCullough's still working that top side. You can still see he's not able to get away. Sean Kaiser still has a good amount of tires left. He's able to run that 04 down. But here we go. Daniel Cunningham says, I am tired of riding right on your bumper. We got to go, and you don't seem to be able to want to pass Christian McCullough, so I'm going to go down to the inside and try to take it from you. Sean says, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to start keeping the inner monologues here. I'm just interested in the next 10 laps. We're really going to see the tire fall off start to come to fruition. And And I don't know if we're seeing a little bit of that here now, but we're still backside beside Christian McCullough, Sean Kaiser, as they continue to run. And see, the problem with running the top side, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, is that it makes it harder to run the top side. When you run the top over and over and over again, you try to go up there later in the run, it gets a little bit tighter. You're not able to run as hard off the wall. But one thing you also can't do is run the bottom. So that's going to be tougher and tougher. McCullough is, man, wow, look at Sean Kaiser with the run through the middle of the corner. He's going to clear McCullough as McCullough has a terrible turn there. As now Sean Kaiser takes over the lead. Here comes McCullough back, though, trying to get to the outside. He's been doing such a good job. Oh, he's going to get on the door of the 24 machine. He is right back on the outside of him. Look at these boys race their guts out. I love it. Daniel Cunningham back into his original spot. I'm like, damn it. You guys figure it out. They can't get it figured out. Oh, Christian McCullough gets a little bit loose there. And Sean Kaiser, I don't know if he's doing a little blocking or if he's just trying to give a draft to the 08. But now Christian McCullough now side by side for second as Sean Kaiser takes over the second spot. McCullough starting to feel those tires start to give away as he starts to get loose. And now Sean Kaiser with full control of the lead. McCullough, though, going to continue to run that top side and try to keep up with these guys. We'll go on board and see what this truck's handling like. Look at him. Look at how loose that bad boy is. I mean, he was getting with it, but he is still driving that son of a gun. He ain't playing around. As now Daniel Cunningham going to go to the inside. He's going to take the lead. So the 08 takes the top spot here after 27 laps. You see these trucks are not driving good, and Christian McCullough falling back quickly. Now back to the fourth position. And look at Chad Ross. Chad Ross is like, hell, I tried running that top side last time. Y'all can have it. I'm going to run the bottom. I'm going to run you guys down, show y'all belong. He's side by side with Peyton Hubbard. Peyton has not been able to really make up much ground after getting up into the fourth position and has just continued to fall back as we are now single file. It's going to take a little bit of a breather, but man, look at it. I mean, from first all the way back, 2 seconds from first all the way back to 8th. And it's really 1.2 seconds from first to 7th. So that is, these guys are all over each other. Daniel Cunningham, though, getting a nice lead, the biggest one we've seen in a while. So he has definitely been saving his stuff, running there on the bottom, right behind Sean Kaiser, not had to put as much work into it. And you can see how quickly he's pulling away, 0.2 of a second faster last time by. As Christian McCullough, exactly what we said was going to happen. Run the top for too long, and those tires are going to be tore up. And that's exactly what it looks like at the moment. Those boys just drove right by him, and he is now in trouble again. So now Peyton Hubbard going to get down to the inside of the 04, thinking about maybe trying to make it 3 wide. He looks down to the inside. The 04 is going to kind of cover that off. So the 51 going to have to ride behind the 83 at the moment. But, I just think the 04 has, unfortunately, he is burning those tires up. Still running the top side, too. Here comes Jim Kaufman. Jim Kaufman, where the hell did he come from? That 41 machine coming out of nowhere. Looking down to the inside of these boys right here. That 41 trying to make some moves here towards the end of this run. Got about 20 laps to go here on this tank of fuel. You can make it 50 laps. When does somebody come down pit road? When does a Christian McCullough come down pit road? Is short pit going to be the way to do it? I just don't know. I don't think so. I don't think short pitting is going to be the best strategy here. As we watch this battle between these two playoff drivers, McCullough's still up at the top, but you see how loose he is. Look how loose the 04 is. Just sliding all the way through the middle of the corner. He has burned them up. That right rear is not happy with him. And now Peyton Hubbard, Christian McCullough going to fall back to 7th place. That 04 seeing his championship hopes start to fade away. But along with Peyton Hubbard, who's in the 5th position, but he's 2 seconds off the lead. And he is not able to keep pace with the front three. But that bottom has been the preferred line. You saw how long they sat there. You know, let Christian McCullough run that top side. And you can see on that left-hand screen, McCullough all the way back to 7th, and he continues to fall as he is having a terrible time. Let's go on board with him and see what it's like. On board with the 04. Having put a lot of wheel into it. As soon as he picks up the throttle, the truck is just trying to come around. You see how much counter steer, just not able to get the throttle down. And that's exactly, we're running that top side. And I know I'm a broken record at this point. I'm sure if he's listening to the broadcast, he's probably like, man, shut the hell up. And so I totally get that. I'm going to shut up about it, but that truck not doing good. But here he comes down pit road, going to try a little undercut. Can he get down to pit road speed? I don't know if he made it. That was close. But here we go, first pit stop of the night, and I think this is a desperation move. I think it might be the right call as he's really struggling. He's going to try the undercut to try to get out front. I think that's the right call as he's falling back so badly that, you know, if he keeps trying to push that truck, he's going to end up spinning out or something, and that could be pretty detrimental to his championship hopes. So you see the leaders coming off coming off of turn 4. He will go a lap down. It's just Daniel Cunningham and Sean Kaiser. But will they come down pit road? I can't imagine that you'd want to come down early. It's just going to be so tough to get all the way to the end. But, you know, if you start to lose a spot, if Sean Kaiser gets, oh my goodness, Sean Kaiser gets really loose. Has to go all the way down to the apron to save that 24 truck as he was trying to get a run on the 08. Pushed that throttle just a little bit too much. And almost went to the shadow realm in that 24 machine. So Christian McCullough, the first one to come down pit road. That will kind of, you know, you'd like to think that would force the hand of these other drivers because he will be gaining a good amount of time. Now, fall off is not that big. Only about a second, maybe a second and a half. So I don't know if it's going to be a huge difference between tires. I think if you're Christian McCullough, you don't want to come out, you know, blazing. Go back here, he's trying to make up these spots. I think you want to run right around the bottom. I don't think you want to run the top. You want to save those tires as best you can. You think about it, even if you run about 80%, you're still faster. So the more you push, you might set yourself up for failure towards the end of this run. You can't make it on fuel from here. But you need to have something left in the tank. It's going to get right to the back bumper. And Drew Kroll not going to be able to get to the inside of him. But right now he's trying to run down his, I assume, brother, Kenneth McCullough, to be the first driver one lap down. The strategy has been played. What will these guys do? When they come down pit road? I'm thinking you want to run as long as you can if you're up here. If you're one of these guys, because they will have plenty of opportunity to make up the difference, especially with the tire difference. Right now, Christian McCullough been on the track for 3 laps. By the time these guys come down pit road, the tire difference will be a good amount. Right now, McCullough running 1.2 seconds faster a lap than these front runners. I think who would really benefit from a short pit would be Peyton Hubbard. I think I think Christian McCullough felt like he had to because he was so loose. And I think the front two, you kind of do whatever the other guy does. Maybe get 1 lap. But if I'm Peyton Hubbard, I'm going to try to come down pretty quick and try to use that to undercut to my advantage. You see the 83 of Chad Ross. 03, excuse me, of Kenneth McCullough on those new tires. Drive right around the leader. These two nose to tail. You got to wonder, you know, who's faster. You know, we saw guys here. You're obviously running each other respectfully here, but we saw Sean get a little bit loose there trying to make a pass. But what's the play here? I don't know. I can't tell what I would do in this situation. Short pitting is always a good thing to do, but looks like Cunningham going to come down pit road. Oh, my goodness. Woo, it is close on that. I don't know if he made it down to pit road speed. You do not want to speed here. This is championship ending if you speed. We'll see as he comes down pit road. But right now, I mean, if you short pit, you take the danger like McCullough. I mean, if a caution comes out, he is in big trouble. But if it cycles around, he'll be okay. It's just, can he hold on to it? Can he save the tire he needs to save now and have enough to hold these guys off? He's going to have a pretty sizable lead. Peyton Hubbard has also come down pit road in your leader. Sean Kaiser going to bring the 24 down pit road. This is the final stop. This is the money stop. Everybody comes down pit road. Peyton Hubbard has a great pit stop, a 14.1. That's the fastest out of anybody. So he's able to make up a little bit of time to see if Sean can get on and off pit road. He does. Drew Prohl going to take over the lead at the moment. He still has to make a pit stop. Still, about 6 drivers who have yet to come down pit road. You see Dustin Ronstedel right behind him in that 11 Napa truck. Oh, and Aaron Parks gets loose and saves it. What a save by the 73. That could have been bad. He's on those fresh tires, just trying to navigate around the older tires, and almost big problems. Now, Chris McCullough has it's hard to say, about a 5-second lead, about a 6-second lead over Daniel Cunningham, who's able to come out ahead of Sean Kaiser. And Sean Kaiser actually in a Hornet's Nest. He had a terrible stop, 14.8, and came out a few spots behind Daniel Cunningham. So they came in nose to tail, basically. Or no, Cunningham came in 1 lap earlier, sorry. And that's the difference right there. Look, there's Cunningham going by right now, and then here's Kaiser. Now Chris McCullough is up a little bit further. He's running a 34 flat. Daniel Cunningham a 34.2 as they're dealing with a lot of traffic. So right now, Christian McCullough just needs to be thinking, save tire. Don't oversave. Don't be slow. But you also don't want to burn them up again. See, he's running right down at the bottom. What has he learned? Now he's out there by himself. He's not racing anybody. Just needs to turn, fast lap times just right around the bottom. No need to run up towards the top. He ran out up top out of necessity last run. Look at him now, down on the bottom. I tell you what, if anything, Chris McCullough going to make a show out of this, that's for sure. Drew Prohl still leading. Dustin Ronstedel, Carlton Charles, those 3 still have yet to make their stop. Daniel Cunningham now 5.3 seconds back from Christian McCullough. And he's got 34 laps left in the season to go run him down and win a championship. Who is going to get it done right now? Daniel Cunningham, only 1/10 of a second faster than Chris McCullough. And I don't know if you can do quick math. I'm from Mississippi. That ain't going to get it done. So, if Christopher pushes this truck a little bit too hard, that will definitely get him to those plateaus where the tire drops off and the times drop off quickly. But Daniel Cunningham is back here, and he's battling with lap traffic and his teammates. So there's no gimme. Sean Kaiser, though, is running him down. Sean Kaiser run his fastest lap last time by, along with Chad Ross. Chad Ross ran the fastest lap all night, 33.8. Peyton Hubbard is right around these folks, so. Drew Prohl, Carlton Charles come down pit road. On board with Sean Kaiser as he tries to get caught up to his teammate. But right now they're all chasing Christian McCullough as he's right behind his teammate, who I would imagine will give him plenty of room. And I'll keep you up to date on the times as best I can, but you can watch there. Once Dustin Ronstedel comes down pit road, you'll be able to see the times a little bit better. He's He's running on fumes at the moment, so he should be coming down the road any moment. But a caution flag obviously can change all of this. But so far, stage break, the only caution, even though we've seen guys really struggling with the handling, is the 03 just going to let the 04 go. No surprise there. So here we go. Christopher McCullough. Last time by, ran a 34.4. Daniel Cunningham, 34.187. Now, Christopher was passing his teammate. We'll see this time by just how much of a difference it is. But honestly, it's about a 4.5 second gap back to Daniel Cunningham. Sean Kaiser is running right here with this group. Give you a little bit wider shot here. This is Daniel Cunningham, Barrett Morton, Sean Kaiser. You got to go back a little bit more to Peyton Hubbard, who just needs a caution, I think. I think Peyton, if he can get a caution, he'll get back into this thing. But right at the moment, he is in big trouble. He has not been able to keep up with these JC Motorsports drivers, and McCullough has just really been struggling on the long run. That time by, Daniel Cunningham 4/10 faster than McCullough the last lap. So just 30 laps to go, and Christian McCullough starting to fade already. And this is going to come down to the wire for sure. As you can see, there's Daniel Cunningham on the right side of the screen. He is coming. He is, and he that time by 3/10 faster. So Christopher has definitely hit a plateau. The way these tires work, you can run them similar times. Even if you ran everything perfectly, it falls off at a big plateau. You'll see you'll run, just making up numbers here, 20.0. 20.0, 20.0, 20.0, 20.1, 20.1, 20, and then all of a sudden 20.4. You'll drop off about 4/10, and you'll run that for about 5 to 10 laps, and you'll drop off another 3/10. So those plateaus, when they happen at different intervals, and Christian McCullough gets to them first, and that allows Daniel Cunningham to run him down a lot quicker. Now, if you look back here, you see I'm running nose-to-tail teammates. Daniel, Barrett, Sean Kaiser, all running nose to tail, not racing each other. That is the worst thing to do if you're trying to run somebody down, is try to race your teammates when the champion is up there in the lead. Christian McCullough now up to the lead now that Ryan Settle comes down pit road, and it is about to get wild, man. Now just a 3-second gap from Cunningham back to Christian McCullough. But now the rub, Kenneth McCullough in that 03. He's got about 9-lap older tires. Can he hold these guys off? He doesn't need to hold them off. He just needs to slow them up a little bit. Get in their way. Make them try something different. Fight them on the outside. If I'm Kenneth McCullough, I'm going to get up to the outside, and I'm going to make, man, y'all going to have to work so dang hard to get around me. Right now, he's dealing with lap traffic. That 03 is going to get right up against the wall, and I'm going to fight that 08 and not let him go. And you can see now the Daniel Cunningham going to have to deal with the lap traffic in the way, side by side. You're just kind of blown away, and man, almost got they're blocking. The 13 of Brian Terry goes down and almost blocks Daniel Cunningham. Brian Terry 2 laps down, trying to hold up Daniel Cunningham. So I don't know if that's also teamwork. I look down here at Brian Terry, not on. I don't see a team affiliation there, so I don't know if that was just. I don't know what that was, but definitely a block down the straightaway had made Daniel Cunningham check up a little bit. But Cunningham still 2.4 seconds back. He's still catching even with that. So here we go. Here comes the defense from the 03. Defensive player, defensive back, 03, Kenneth McCullough, Miami University. Is he going to take, or Georgia University, excuse me. And now he's going to have to fight off a hard charge. They got much fresher tires. So what can he do? You've got to run the top side. You can't let him get the top. He runs down to the bottom. Now going to try to play defense. I think he needed to run a little bit higher to get the run off the corner, because I think the 08 is going to have a nice little run here down the back straightaway. I don't think he's going to be able to do a good enough job. He's going to have to run up at the top side to hold him off. He's going to run down on his door, but not fighting him that hard. I'm actually surprised. The 03 maybe just doesn't have the tire. So here we go. 24 laps to get it done. And right now they have enough pace to get it done. It is about 3/10 a lap. And there's nothing Christopher McCullough can do right now. Kenneth, while I wanted him to fight hard there, I think that would have been exciting. I think he did the right thing and just kind of let him go. He didn't fight him too hard. As you see some fighting going on between teammates here. It's odd to see, isn't it? 2 seconds back, and they're up here battling it out. So I think there was enough defense played that it didn't seem too obvious. Made them work around him. Now it's all on Christian McCullough. He ran a 35.0. Daniel Cunningham, 34.6, another 4/10. He cut off that last lap, and that's going to continue to grow. And as it gets down to about 1.1 seconds, that draft is going to kick in. And once that draft kicks in, Christopher is going to be in trouble. Christopher would love to see a caution in the next couple laps. And if he can come down, because they would have to come down pit road, they wouldn't be able to stay out. Come down pit road with the lead, have control of the race. And we saw how hard at this point, you could run the top, bottom, you could be out, you could run the fence, the actual fence, the chain link fence, and still save tires. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So if he can get a caution right now, it doesn't matter what they do. He can be just hammered down. I don't know if we're going to get it. Right now, it is still under a second. They are coming. Whoop. There they are. 20 laps to go. What can he do? I mean, he was able to hold them all for a long time, but that was on equal tires. Right now, they have an advantage of about 7 laps on the 04, so I just don't know what he can do other than hope that he gets a caution here. If he can get that caution, he'll be in good shape. But he's done a good job of running the bottom. He hasn't been doing anything crazy. Now, what's he got left? And he's going to have to hang it all out there. You can't just let him go. You know, you got to fight him. You know, if you let him go, you'll never see him again. So he's going to have to fight. What's he got left to fight here? We saw Kenneth didn't really have much at all. But what can the 04 do? Now back to the back bumper. Here comes Daniel Cunningham. Gets a run down the back straightaway. They are there. McCullough drives right into the tire tracks. Trying to keep the 08, make him have to check up a little bit. Use a little bit of that aero block, but I think that's going to hurt him more than anything. He wants to fight him, but I think that was the worst call he could make. Let's see if he can get to the outside and make that outside work. He's been so good at it all race long. What can he do? Does he have the tires? Just doesn't have the tires to hold off that 08. And Daniel Cunningham going to take over the top spot. Clears. Oh, my goodness, a little crossover. He's going to go down to the inside, make the 08 work a line. He has not been able to use that 04. You can see the tire difference. He's sliding, trying to make it work. Desperation kicking in for that 04, but he's going to watch his both. Oh, my goodness, Barrett Morgan gets to the back bumper of Sean Kaiser, but he watches the other two. Playoff drivers just drive right on by. So, I mean, just a awesome attempt in that 04, but it looks like that tire difference is just too much right now. Now, it's going to be between these two playoff drivers. I tell you what, this has been a long race, but it has been exciting. I have not had a moment to where I felt like I didn't have anything to say or talk about. These guys have made this so exciting. I can't believe it's almost over. I mean, this is it. The season coming down to this right here. And it looks like Christian McCullough falling back. Peyton Hubbard has not been a factor at all this race. He was up front just a little while. Now he's about 2 seconds off the lead. He's running similar lap times to the leaders. They get up here and battle. He can get up there and do something. So we'll see what happens. But Kaiser has been a little bit faster. We saw at the end of that long green flag run there before the green flag pit stop. Kaiser was right on his back bumper and putting a lot of pressure, trying to get around that 08 machine. And the 08 actually comes down pit road. Basically felt like he was about to get past. So we'll see. Sean has had the better long run speed. and the 08 of Daniel Cunningham. There's no more chilling out, relaxing. No riding back and forth. I mean, these guys are going to start battling soon. There's only 14 laps to go in this race, in this season. And 2 championship drivers, 1-2. And this is it. This is going to be the battle for the championship. Who can get this done? Sean Kaiser looks pretty strong right now. He's looking up to the outside, trying to get a run here off the corner. Ooh, gets a little bit tight there, but does have the run. Here we go. Down to the inside. Is it going to look? Not quite able to do it just yet. I mean, Sean definitely looks like he is the faster of the two. And Cunningham going to throw a block. No surprise there. Kaiser, though, going to get to the outside. Can he make it work? Cunningham going to drive deep into the corner. I think Cunningham's at sort of a disadvantage at the moment. He's going to have to jump up in front of the 24, but 24 is going to get a run. He's going to block it. He knows he wants the bottom. He doesn't want to give up that bottom. Sean has been too strong up there. Now he's going to have to fight off that outside run. Here he goes to the outside. Sean Kaiser, he's going to go up the track, though, on exit. Oh, man, made a little contact with the wall. He's going to fall back in line as Barrett Morton. The hell is this going on up here? I don't know who that is. Who is that? 13 of Brian Terry in the mix again. He'll get up here and battle 2 championship drivers. I love it. With 10 laps to go, it is 1-2. Daniel Cunningham, Sean Kaiser. This is all for the championship. Here we go. Brian Terry going to insert himself into the championship race with just 10 laps to go. Racing for 16th. He's going to go around the outside. Cunningham going to try to block. Sean Kaiser, though, going to get to the inside. 3 wide here for the lead. Can Cunningham hold off this charge? As I'm going to be honest with you, this 13 is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen up here battling the championship drivers, running 2 laps down. So that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Get out of the way. That's ridiculous. Up there, inserting himself into the championship hunt, but they're still side by side. And now Cunningham getting blocked by the 13 truck. Just embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Get off the track. As he is ruining what is going to be a great battle. Cunningham going to fall back behind Sean Kaiser. And what, I mean, honestly, is a disappointing. I mean, Cunningham's got some life, but, I mean, just ridiculous, the 13 truck. Sean Kaiser gets loose. He gets loose. He's going to go down to the apron, going to give the run to the 08, who goes around the outside. Sean Kaiser had the lead, and he got loose. He's going to have to fall back in line behind his teammate, Barrett Morton, who's now going for the win. So Cunningham able to weather the storm and falling back behind Sean Kaiser. Now, this is about the most exciting thing that could have happened there is we let the 13, you know, the what an idiot go on around and get out of the way as and I'm only joking, by the way. I don't know who Brian Terry is. It just happens to be the person I'm talking to. But he's moved on now, thank goodness. So we're going to have a battle. Sean Kaiser going to go back to the hunt. Sean Kaiser back to the back bumper. He's going to have another opportunity to get around that 08. Just, I mean, just not enough laps for Daniel Cunningham. And I know he's just like, man, is it not over yet? No, they still have they still have 7 more laps to go, 6 as they come to the line. Sean Kaiser definitely seems to be a little bit faster, but what is Cunningham willing to do? What is Sean willing to do? He's been right to the back bumper of that 08, and we've seen him up there blocking each other, throwing wild blocks and stuff, just laying it out on the line. And, you know, Cunningham definitely seems like he's not as good as Sean, but he's been able to do a good job of just being in the mix and never really get out of shape. Now Brian Terry coming back to him. So now he's going to have to deal with the 13 again. '24 still riding behind as they go around the 13. Daniel Cunningham going to have to give up the top side for this 13 machine. Cunningham able to get around him now as the 13 going to have to lift a little bit as his tires are wore out. Now Sean going to have to deal with him on exit, and they clear him. So the 13 going to be out of the picture. He drove up through the leaders, burned his tires up, and now falling back. Worth it. But now it's still a battle. 5 laps to go. I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. I don't know if I'm Daniel Cunningham. I am nervous as all get out because Sean has been so good here on the long run, and if I'm in Sean Kaiser's position, I feel great because I know that I'm putting the pressure on that 08 machine. I'm just waiting for him to make a mistake as Sean gets really wide off the corner. Cunningham driving in his mirror. He's not even really looking out the front windshield, and you can see, he gets a little bit loose there. That's sort of the cheek in the armor. He knows it, and he goes down to the inside to block. You can see that VSRN logo on the right rear. He's using it, making sure that Sean not able to get. He actually kind of checks up here in the middle of the corner. Gonna give the 24 the exit off the corner. Oh my goodness, I thought they were gonna make contact. Here comes another lap truck. Bobby Hall Jr. gonna get up here and make it 3 wide with the leaders. Bobby Hall Jr. 2 laps down, going for the lead. And Sean Kaiser able to get around him and takes over the top spot as Bobby Hall Jr. makes it 3 wide. Now, does Cunningham have anything left? They're still nose to tail. Cunningham going to try to go to the outside and make it. He's going to drive down on the door of the 24. Oh, my goodness. Is this going to work? Off the corner. Does Cunningham have the run he needs? He does it. They're still battling. Here's an opportunity for Cunningham. Drives down on the door. He knows this is the only opportunity. Oh, he gets a little bit tight. Really turns that wheel. He's going to try to get the over-under off the corner, and it's not going to be good enough. As you saw, he lost a ton of time to Sean Kaiser there. 2 laps to go, now 3/10 from first and second, as Cunningham lost a lot of time there. He's going to try to regroup, though. Try to find some speed. Can he do anything with this 24? 24 has been really fast. Cunningham have anything left? Here he goes. Down to the middle of the corner. He bumps him. White flag. He gives him a shot, but Sean Kaiser able to hold on to it. He's going to come off of turn 4. I was holding my breath the whole time, not knowing what is going to happen. And Sean Kaiser is going to win here at Homestead and take home the championship in the Truck Series with a great battle between his teammate, Daniel Cunningham, and he is going to be your champion. Sean Kaiser started 6, comes home with the win. I held my breath the last lap, not knowing what was coming, and Daniel Cunningham sent it down in there, tried to move him, and Sean Kaiser held on to it, didn't move an inch, and took home the win and the championship. So he's going to go celebrate. Congratulations. What a battle. As probably frustrating and upset maybe Daniel Cunningham might be, I got to say, you got to look back on that and think, man, what a battle between my teammate. That is so much fun, and what a great way to end the season. But battling the last 20 laps with your teammate, just dogfight. 24 gonna burn it down, celebrate here. He's got his teammates on the front stretch with him, but Sean Kaiser, what a incredible run. 3 in a row to take the championship. I mean, wow, incredible. I mean, lap traffic made a definite impact on the race, and that's just part of it, you know. That is something they both had to deal with and had to just deal with it. It was part of the race. Nobody was telling them to get out of the way. They were just driving around the leaders with the coming to the checker flag, and you know they both had to deal with it, make it around it safely. And I definitely think it had an effect on the way this race ended. But Sean has just been incredibly fast. He was fast all night long tonight. Didn't have the greatest qualifying effort, but I mean, the last 3 weeks, 3 wins in a row to finish the season. It's just an impressive drive there. Wow, what a race. Golly. I don't know what to do with my hands, y'all. That was crazy. Just a wild finish. I know a lot of the guys towards the back didn't get a whole lot of time. Maybe that's why they was racing the leaders, but man, just an incredible drive. Christopher McCullough, after that pit strategy, is going to come home in 10th, and Peyton Hubbard comes home in 5th. But just the battle, obviously, between Sean Kaiser and Daniel Cunningham all race long. That's the story of the night, and I think that was just an incredible race. What a way to end the season with that race right there. Wow, man, I'm just I'm post-coital. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just I'm spent. That was awesome. What a great way to end what has been a fantastic season. So Sean Kaiser will get 5 wins on the season with that win. So, all right, well, I'm going to take a break, and we will be right back, and we'll get some interviews going here. But we'll take a little small break. We'll be right back. Well, all right. Well, let's take a look at your results and see where everybody ended up here tonight. As we take a look at your race results, I mean, 1 caution, 18 lead changes. What an incredible race, man. I got to say, I don't normally take breaks after the races, but I needed a minute to kind of collect my thoughts as I thought that was just an incredible, I mean, all the way to the finish, just nonstop action. Sean Kaiser comes away with the victory and the championship. Daniel Cunningham going to come home in second. Barrett Morton, who was in the mix all night long, going to finish third. Chad Ross in the 4th position. Peyton Hubbard, great season out of him, but going to come home in 5th and 3rd in the championship standings. Drew Prohl comes home in 6th. Jim Kaufman comes home in 7th. Dustin Reinsettle in 8th. Eric Parks in 9th. And Christian McCullough in the 10th position and the final spot there. Just a great opportunity there for him. And probably needed some luck. A little caution there would have definitely helped him out, but he comes home in 10th. 11th going to be Kenneth McCullough. David Brackett in 12th. Carlton Charles is going to come home in the 13th spot. Stephen Page going to come home in 14th. 15th, Bobby Hall Jr. Brian Terry in the 16th position. 17th is David Sheets. Michael Cole in 18th. Jeremy Vaughn in 19th. And 20th is John Mollahan, who never turned a lap. So, well, all right. Well, let's get in here and let's see what these drivers thought about this race. And we're going to start with Barrett Morton in that 9 machine, who comes home in the 3rd position. Barrett Morton, which I'm going to call everybody by their first and last name. Man, what a race. I mean, you were in the mix all night long there at the end, just a little bit back watching this battle go on. That 9 truck seemed like it was really, really fast. All JC Motorsports looked pretty fast. And it seemed like you kind of backed off at the end, let those guys just fight it out amongst themselves. But talk about your race, man. I mean, you started in 3rd and you finished 3rd. That's a pretty good night to end, especially the way to end the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hats off to JC Motorsports. I mean, this is just a true testament to how this team works. And if you could have been in the chat with us and Jonah and they're coaching us on how to run the lines and where everybody was and where we were gaining speed and telling us to be patient. It's why we are as fast as we are. We won the team championship again. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty ecstatic of how we finished this race. I didn't know what to expect. Practice wasn't all that great, but we knew it was going to be long run speed. And yeah, you are correct. There at the end, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to get in their way. I'm not going to mess up them battling it out. And to be honest, I was kind of hoping they maybe got into each other, maybe both hit the wall and I could win and they could drag race to the finish and figure it out themselves. But beggars can't be choosers. So, but I was trying not to help one or the other. I would back off from pushing Sean, and I didn't want to try to dive bomb Sean or dive bomb Daniel going into a corner to put them on the high side, put them in a rough spot. So I just let them handle themselves.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, you said you were going to get up there and battle them, so you kind of lied to everybody that was watching, saying you were going to get up there and get after it. But we all kind of knew deep down you didn't want to put your teammates in a bad spot. And so I think that's definitely commendable. But it seemed like that 9 truck had a lot of speed. Where were you finding the speed tonight? It seemed like y'all were really working that bottom line, which seemed to be really good on the long run. But you were able to kind of move all over the place and seemed like you had just as much speed as the front two. What was that truck handling like? I saw a lot of folks out there loose. Were you kind of dealing with that same condition?
No, just as long as you stayed out of that middle lane and you really got to, watch throttle control and your entry and exit and having those 2 guys in front of me the whole time really helped me stay on course. I don't think I was faster than them. There's probably times where I might have been, but Sean was definitely the fastest, and Daniel did all he could to keep him behind him. But man, I tell you, I'm so proud of Sean, so proud of Daniel and the whole team because this is the first season I've got to race with Daniel. Great guy, and Sean I've known for a very long time, so it's awesome to see him have some success again.
Well, hey, 3rd place tonight. You weren't in the Final Four, but I couldn't tell. It seemed like you were up there battling for a championship as well. So, man, congratulations on a great season, a great finish here tonight, especially as a team. Come away with 1, 2, 3. Pretty awesome stuff, man. Who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, definitely JC Motorsports. It's been great working with Jonah and everybody else, and Caustic and Coalfield. Coalfield's another sponsor. RD Designs, uh, Spearcrest Digital, Sergeant Junket, Wax Marina, and Bluegrass. And then you, Eddie, for putting this on, man. You do a great job.
Well, we definitely appreciate that. But there you have it. Third place, Barrett Morton. Great season, great way to finish it off, and comes home with a third place. But man, we got to talk to these boys right here who just raced their guts out. Daniel Cunningham, I don't know. I'm so interested to hear your first thoughts, because first, just right out the gate, you think disappointed. But man, I don't know if you pay the money. $13 or $14 a month to race here. You pay for all the content, you buy the wheels, all the stuff, and you get in here. This is exactly what you're looking for, which is incredible battles with people that you can trust to race with. And coming home in second is probably a disappointment. Talk about that race with your teammate all race long. Y'all were all over each other, and there at the end, just an incredible battle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, first off, congrats to Sean. I was telling him down in the staging area that he's come a long way from being like 41st in points 3 races into the season. He had the absolute worst luck to start the year. Got hot in the playoffs. I mean, he definitely is deserving of the championship. We both had him up on the dash, like I said in the pre-race. We both had him up there, racing our guts out. I mean, he ran a perfect race. I feel like I ran a 99.9% perfect race. Sometimes that's all it takes when you've got somebody as good as he is with with the way he is on long runs and everything with that. So, I mean, it is definitely a little disappointing to be that close and to be, to be in the lead with 3 to go and then lose it like that. But I mean, as disappointing as it is, I can't really say that there's anything that I would have necessarily done different, except maybe mic up and tell some lap cars to get the hell out of the way. I don't really know why. I'm trying really not to be an ass when I say this, but we've got 15 laps to go in the season. You've got guys running 1 and 2 for a championship, and you got somebody that's a rolling chicane every single week out there that's just in the way. And then when somebody mics up and asks him to move, his response is, well, I think I passed both of them. Well, yeah, you're on fresher tires than us at a track with immense fall off. Like that's why you're up there. But same guy that cost me about 15 spots and 2 restarts at Darlington because he doesn't know where the throttle is. So I can't really say I'm surprised by that. But now that I got my vent out of the way, I'm happy with the season. First year over here in Bluegrass. I really didn't think that I would make the championship 4 coming into the season. My goals were make the playoffs, try to win a race, which I did earlier this season at Vegas. Came really close a couple times. Felt like I was competitive all season, regardless of where we went. So, yeah, all in all, a good season. And just happy for JC Motorsports getting the team championship. Happy for Sean getting the drivers championship. So, as a team, we swept both of those. Got the top 2 spots in the drivers overall. So, yeah, definitely a good season overall.
Well, there on the last lap, I mean, I was holding my breath. I stopped calling the race because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was waiting, and there in 3 and 4, you drove down in there and you gave him a shot, tried to get up under him. Just he was like an anchor. You couldn't move him. And but a good attempt. Were you always planning on doing that? Was that a last second decision? Talk a little bit about that final corner.
When we took the white flag, I honestly didn't think I would be close enough to try it. Everybody says that they would wreck their mother to win a championship, but I've always thought to myself, like, man, I don't know if I could put a bumper to somebody trying to win a championship like that. I mean, it's always the easy response to give, to say that you would and say that, I'd move them out of the way. And I knew that we had a pretty big gap over the other 2 championship contenders, so I knew that we could get a little rough on the last lap and still, finish 1 and 2 in the championship, even if Barrett got around us for the race win. So the thought crossed my mind. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it coming down the back straightaway. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it on the last lap. If it works, it works. I'm just going to make sure I don't, punt him and put him into the wall, because I'd be ready to throw my steering wheel through a monitor if somebody did that to me. So, I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, let's go for it and see if it happens. But he did a good job of hanging on to it. I mean, I think when you've got it that close, I think it's fair game at that point, even with a teammate. And we talked about it in post race, and he was fine with it. He's like, yeah, you did it perfect. If you're going to try to move someone, that's the way to do it. You don't just drive it in and wreck them. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, just an incredible battle all race long. Y'all were always around somebody. You never just had a moment to breathe. So I'll give you that moment to breathe. But man, yeah, the floor is yours here. Second place in the race, second place in the championship. Who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, appreciate you doing the broadcast as always. I know I say that every time I get an interview with you, but you and Bradley and everybody at V-Speed does a phenomenal job with the broadcasts. So definitely appreciate that, and everybody that's stepped up and helped run stuff over here this season. Thanks everybody at JC Motorsports. Jonah jumped in tonight and was coaching me and Sean through that whole race and helping us out, telling us what to do. I mean, he's pretty much a master of this place when it comes down to it. So, having him to lean on as a resource is definitely a good one to have. So appreciate that. Appreciate all of our sponsors. And, as disappointing as it is, I've still got one more to try to go win next week. So I'm locked into the Xfinity Championship. So, we'll put this one behind us and see if I can go out and get one next week instead.
All right, man. Well, great run, and I appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, appreciate it, Eddie.
Well, we got to get the man of the hour in here. He's been waiting patiently, but Sean Kaiser completes the three-peat and 3 in a row. And you definitely had to win the race tonight that we talked about earlier, and came away with the victory, and a hard-fought victory it was. I mean, it seemed like you were racing your guts out the whole race from start to finish there, Sean.
100%. I'm freaking exhausted. My wrists are killing me. I mean, with this place, like, even if you're being patient and like kind of easing it, you got to wrap that bottom in order to save tire, and you're so on the edge down there, even with that, that you're fighting the car the whole time. And then put that on top of racing, 4 great drivers for the Champion 4, and me and Daniel being glued to each other the whole race. It was tough. I was definitely racing my guts out the whole race, and particularly the last like 30 laps after that last pit stop.
Well, I mean, you had a little bit in the middle of the race. You had an incredible battle with Christian McCullough, and I'm curious to what your thought process was during that battle, because McCullough was really being aggressive, and we know if you've raced it at Homestead enough in the trucks, the top side is sort of bait because it's really fast and you can make some passes, but it burns the tires up quickly. Did you know that when y'all were racing as hard as you were side by side and just kind of taking it easy? What was what were you doing there when that battle was going on? Were you just saving your stuff? Were you trying to get around him? What was going on in the 24 truck?
There were a couple. I mean, there were moments. There was a couple moments where maybe I was trying to get around him because I realized that I had the run or something like that. But for the most part, I was taking it easy. At most, going about mid-level on effort, but just making sure I stayed in the bottom, because I 100% knew that he was going to wear stuff out. And honestly, our team owner, Jonah came in, and he was just like, just keep it on the bottom. You enter low and you exit low here. That's what you try and do. And so I was like you said, I was pretty much baiting him into wearing his stuff out, and obviously it worked out. So, strategy's key.
Yeah, well, I mean, just an incredible battle. I mean, mental toughness to be able to go down there and just run side by side, not get too ahead of yourself trying to get ahead of him, just be patient. And I mean, he drove a hell of a good race on the outside, trying to hold on to that spot and take it back. And y'all just kind of went back and forth for a while, and then there at the end there, it just seemed like you were just a little bit faster on the long run. Some lap traffic came into play, but I think you guys really got a chance to battle it out. And there's some blocking going on, obviously, fair play. Blocking's part of racing. And I mean, you're there at the end, you started running out of time. You knew you needed to take your shot. I mean, you got loose when you got around him the first time and almost bend it, and fell back to third, able to get back up to him. And what was your plan? I mean, he was obviously holding off the bottom. He was definitely blocking the bottom down the straightaway, kind of giving you the top side. Were you okay with that? Were you trying to figure out a way to get to the bottom? What was your, strategy there to try to get around him?
I mean, push comes to shove. I mean, I was trying to take my time and be as patient as possible. I also wanted the clean air. But if you the high side, if he gave me the top, it was going to be okay. I think in the end, I think I had a little bit better of a long run. This race kind of split up. In the beginning, we were kind of equal, and then in the middle of the run, he was a little bit better than me, and then in the very long run, I was a little bit better than him. But what happened is the best of, the best thing that could happen is that you need to be patient and try and get a run coming out of the corner so you can get underneath him on one of the straightaways, so that way you can have the bottom going into the corner. I still think I could have kept it tight to him if I was on the high side and still gotten around him eventually, but the preferred way would be getting that run and getting underneath him before the next corner.
Well, you knew it was coming. You had to at least be thinking about it on the last lap, and going down in 3 and 4. He drove down in there and tried to give you a shot, move you up out of the groove, and actually did a pretty good job of it. But you were able to kind of just drop the anchor and keep that 24 right on the bottom and not let him get that inside track. Were you surprised by that at all, or were you expecting it? What was your thoughts as you got down in 3 and 4, and all of a sudden you're getting booted out of the groove?
No, I was expecting it. I mean, we already talked. We raced each other very clean. There were aggressive moves that needed to be made to do what we needed to do, and we understood that. We didn't make contact at all until the very end when he tried to give me a bumper. And I knew I was being I had pulled away a little bit on the second to last lap, and on the last lap I was definitely trying to be a little bit more conservative and not get sideways because of how on edge you are on the bottom at this track. So I knew it was coming, and he did it textbook. I talked to him, and I was just like, 50-50 shot. I'm washing up more than that. I'm not going to be able to keep it down. He did it perfect. He didn't do it to wreck me. He did it to rattle my cage, as Dale and I would say, except not spin me out. But he did it the perfect way, and I don't blame him at all. I would have probably done the same thing, and I thank him for not doing it hard enough to wreck me, and I'm happy I was able to keep it down towards the bottom and hold him off coming to the start finish line.
Well, you were able to do that for sure, and you come away as the race winner and the champion here tonight. So congratulations, Sean Kaiser, for a great season. As you reflect back on this season, obviously the last 3 weeks have been paramount to your success and your ability to take home this championship. But back through the season, is there anything that kind of jumps out as hey, this was a big turning point for me to kind of thrust myself up into the the talks of, hey, maybe I am a championship contender?
Oh, it seemed like the end of the end of the season, the tracks just fit me. The same thing kind of happened last year, except I was terrible at the first quarter or maybe the first third of this season. Daniel was actually joking. He's like, "Look, you won the championship, and you were saying you didn't know if you were going to make the playoffs because I was back in 30 something in points after a good handful of races." Probably, once I got the tracks that I knew I was good at, once we got to Dover, and I believe I won at Dover. Once we got there and I got that win, and looking at the schedule, I knew if I really, was consistent and patient, I could pull off, a few more wins, and it turned into a bunch more wins actually. And so I'd say probably getting the confidence after the win at Dover. And then, you can't ask more than winning the last 3 here. I don't know what to really say about that. Obviously, I was good at those tracks, but it takes a little bit of luck too when things fall on your way. So there's nothing more you can ask for than ending a season the way I did.
Well, man, congratulations! Just an awesome run and a fantastic champion. Definitely feel like you deserved it. You were the best towards, especially the last half of the playoffs. Just incredible. So congratulations again. As always, man, the floor is yours. This time a championship floor to give you all the time that you need to thank any friends, family, sponsors that help you get this championship here tonight.
Oh yeah, just gonna thank JC Motorsports, Camerata Truck Parts, JC Graphics, Lucas Lyons for doing my paint schemes. Jonah, the team owner, really came in during this race, and he was talking all of me, Barrett, and Daniel about just reminding us how to run the track. Enter low, stay low through the corner, exit low, save tire, be patient. And he was in our ear the whole time, so it's a great thanks to him and overall just the whole team between Daniel, Lucas, who unfortunately couldn't finish up the season, and Barrett, and Caustic, who's in the Cup Series. I don't know if I'm missing anyone, but they're just a great team, great working together. We've been consistent. We've been talking to each other. We've been helping each other out, and definitely looking forward to sticking with them in future seasons and maybe other leagues. And I thank you for doing the broadcast. I thank Jason for putting this together. It's been great, and it's been a lot of fun this season. Yeah, so just it's a great time, great season. Can't ask for anything more.
There you have it. Your champion here in the Bluegrass Truck Series, Sean Kaiser, as he takes home the victory in the race and the championship, and won the last 3 races to get it done. So, I mean, just incredible, and just what a way to finish it off with just an amazing race. But we do want to talk to at least a couple more. We're going to talk to Peyton Hubbard. Peyton comes home in 5th place after having to start in the back. And that Simrap Market 51 machine, while it is good looking, wasn't as fast as maybe you needed to be to get up towards the front. Was that track position sort of the nail in the coffin? I mean, you got up to about 6th place and just wasn't able to get any closer. Talk to me a little bit about your race. What were you struggling with that kind of kept you from being more of a factor at the end?
I think it's just experience with this track, really. I was where you pulled me up talking with the guys, Sean and Daniel. It's just that they were telling me what I was doing wrong, even Barrett. They were all kind of telling me, like, hey, here's what you did, and this is why, it's just a product of not running it. Should have ran more laps maybe, or did a little bit of research, but, I just got straight up beat. Those guys were on rails, and congrats to Sean and Daniel, and, it was just a really good race put by them, and I was just hanging on.
I mean, still though, while you may not be the champion, still making the Final Four in what is a really competitive series is always a proud thing to be a part of. But just kind of looking back on your season, 6 wins throughout the season. Your playoffs may have not have been what you were hoping for. It's kind of a rough start, but you ended up kind of strong. And then you made the Final Four, had a chance to win a championship. But look back over all the whole season. What are you most proud of, and what can you kind of take? Even though you can't take a championship home, but what can you take from this and kind of say, hey, look, I'm proud that I was able to do this, and look back on the season kind of fondly.
Yeah, it was a good season. It was a great season. I'd say it's probably I think that was my best so far. It's just been improvement. It's really what I've been looking for. I've just been trying to learn at certain tracks. I think I've gotten better at short tracks. There's some 1.5 miles I think are still kind of what I'm weak at. Especially somewhere like this. Some of the really high tire wear tracks. I know there's certain methods and techniques that I'm still trying to learn, and so it's just kind of working on those and trying to put everything together. Eventually maybe we'll take home one of these things. This is the second Final Four back to back, and came home 3rd in both of them. So it's there's definitely something to be desired, but we'll just keep on working, and we're gonna get one of these things eventually.
Well, Peyton Hubbard comes home in 5th tonight, 3rd in the championship 4. Just still though a great season, one to look back on fondly, and definitely take forward. But man, who you got to thank? You got Simrap Market on the truck, good looking truck here tonight. Who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, NLR, all the guys there. I shout them out every week. Keith Hackney, and all those guys over there. SWM hopped on board the NLR team, so I've been using their templates all season. They have really good stuff. So we've been that's been on the truck all season long, and like I was saying last week, we did just switch up to House of Speed for that team. Those guys run all the dirt stuff. I'm kind of an asphalt only guy. I'm the only guy on the team that only runs that asphalt stuff, so they're always running their setup. So they've been killing it this week in officials, thanks to them. So shout out to all those guys, and yeah.
Alrighty, well there you have it. Peyton Hubbard, disappointed for sure, but comes home in 5th tonight, and seems to be in good spirits. Christopher McCullough, I don't see him in the chat anymore. We'll get him up here and talk to him, but man, still a great season out of him. Definitely not the way the night went for him, but Still, though, Christopher has been strong all playoffs, and he deserved to be here. He started on the pole, and just came up a little bit short, but still a great season for him. But man, that's it. That's all I got. I'm out. And congratulations again to Sean Kaiser, who your winner tonight. Just incredible season. Thank the whole field. I mean, just a great job by everybody. Just making it a lot of fun. It's been a great season. I kind of hate that it's coming to an end, but I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Definitely appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to VSRN, it's a subscription. Maybe come out and check out some of the other leagues that we do, and see if you might like something that that someone else puts out there, or just if you like broadcast what we do, you want to watch some, definitely come out, check some of them out, hit subscribe, and we sure do appreciate it. If you're on Bluegrass TV, thank you for watching. We will we'll maybe see you down the line, but keep subscribed to VSRN and see where we go from here. We'll have a lot going on pretty soon. All right, guys, thank y'all so much. Congratulations again to Sean Kaiser, JC Motorsports. We will see y'all. Let's see what we're doing. I think we're going to be doing the Xfinity Series Championship next Monday night. So we still got more to do. Got the Cup Championship on Wednesday, so a lot of stuff going on. This week's going to be exciting here in Bluegrass. So y'all have a good night. See y'all next time.